Hey everybody, welcome to a very muggy June in Georgia. I am one of your podcast hosts for Parent Pivot Podcast, Steve Cummings.
And I'm Julia Cummings.
It's incredibly muggy.
It is
in Georgia.
Horribly muggy.
But
yes.
That's not why we're here. I don't know why we always start off with something very,
Especially about weather.
It's always about weather. Why is it about weather? I don't know.
Because you care so much about it.
We do. Hey, we actually have a very special guest. We're related to her.
Yes.
Tell us about what's going on.
So last week we had Seth Barnes on talking about, not holding on to your, young adult kids too tightly, allowing them to experience life, go out and experience the world. We talked specifically about the world race.
Which he's the CEO and president of
Adventures in Mission.
And the World Race, which we put that all in last week. So we thought we'd do a follow-up podcast to all that.
Yes, so our follow-up podcast is with our daughter, Jamilyn.
Our Vice President of Social Media and all things marketing for Parent Pivot Podcast. It's because of her that we're so successful.
And if you're on YouTube, you can see her
if you're watching
belly.
I'm not this big. I am about to pop.
Yes.
I'm very pregnant.
Let's just say that about 8/10 of the family have already gotten the date wrong to try to guess. There's only a few left, including Pop. So come on, little guy.
Yes, we are waiting and anticipating. So we wanted to interview Jamilyn to talk about her experience on the world race and being thrown out of the nest.
Mm-hmm.
And
We didn't really have to throw her.
No, we've never had to throw her.
I ran.
Yes, she ran.
But the whole thing about the world race was new to us at the time. So I kind of want to go back and have Jamilyn kind of say, hey, how did you become aware of it? All those things. What were you looking forward to? And things like that. Because we want you as parents who are pivoting, who might be a little fearful of your 20 to 35-ish adult child.
18
to 35.
Yeah.
To kind of follow up. So we want you to hear it from someone on the other end.
Yeah. But I would like to go back even further.
Okay.
Because as a teenager is when you developed your love for missions and wanting to do that. And that was something that we allowed our kids to do as teenagers. And so I actually want to go back to that and kind of ask you about that experience for you.
Are we talking like Ecuador?
Oh yeah, all that stuff.
Kind of thing.
It was like growing up with the Cummings family and things that you were doing with all your mission stuff.
Yeah. Well, we went to a church that had a lot of opportunities for even junior hires. There was that Arizona trip or whatever.
Yes.
And you guys took us to Mexico growing up and stuff like that. So we had just like a good introduction to it all. And then when we get to high school, the high school group did a missions trip to Ecuador, and I went both years that they had it. Mm-hmm. Maybe I was a sophomore and junior, or junior and senior, something like that.
I think it was a junior and senior, but
yeah. And that was life changing for me. It opened my eyes to more of what the world is, because you guys did a great job at sheltering us in a good way. But then when I went out of that bubble to Ecuador, I was like, whoa, the world is big and I want to see all of it. And when I was 16 is when God instilled in me a heart for his lost children, and got to see that in Ecuador. So then every year from like 16 till 2019, when I was, I'd say like a good 10 years. Yeah. Like every year for 10 years, I was fundraising for a mission trip somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this was the biggest one you've ever had to fundraise for. I think you had to raise like $18,000.
Yeah.
Which has probably gone up.
For the world race.
For the world, that's right. Yes. Yeah, for the world race. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So before the world race, because we'll get there, tell us the places you went before the world race. Can you even name them?
Well, we did those Mexico trips. And I did Ecuador. And then I went to Bible school, right out of high school, to Austria. Mm-hmm. was able to do a little backpacking through Europe. So we hit Switzerland and France and Germany and England, bunch of good European ones. That was a great experience. I think I'm 19, 20-ish. I think I went to Thailand.
That's right.
Is that with you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then I did the Germany mission trip. Yeah,
You really had a
and Honduras and Costa Rica.
This was all before you.
That was in college.
This was all before you decided to
do the world race.
Yeah.
Yes. So Costa Rica was like a college class that.
Were you already in college?
Right.
At the
That
time?
Dr. Birch
Yes.
was taking.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
So you get up and decide you're going to major.
Yeah. My major, I ended up doing double majoring in Bible and theology and intercultural studies, missions,
Right.
basically. I'm majoring in missions.
Yeah.
And then I won a missions trip to Honduras, to that orphanage at Christmas time. Yeah, they're just
it's just a blur. It's like I don't even remember.
It's a good thing we had on the podcast to remember all these things.
It's super funny now to be where I am now because I don't want to travel at all. Like maybe it's being this pregnant, but I'm like I'm good right now.
Yeah. Well, and you've got a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So take us then when you were in college was when you heard about the world race and made that choice.
Tell us
about that.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons of following you guys to Portland was knowing that that they had the missions program that I could major in. And so then it was the idea of graduating college after and then wanting to go on the mission field. And this was an opportunity I think I found on Google. I don't know. Maybe I think I had a friend.
Yeah, I think
Kelsey did it.
Yeah.
I had a friend that I had seen do it on Instagram, and I was like, that would be insane. And I thought I would pick a route because they have different routes that you can go through Asia or through Africa or through, all these different ones. And I was looking at 2 routes that were in more South America. And so kind of the idea was.
And that's because you spoke Spanish.
Right. Yeah. And so I was like, let me go on this missions trip and, visit 11 countries in 11 months. And maybe like the Lord will open up doors to where I can go after, the race.
Yeah.
So I applied and got in and fundraised and
I know, and this was all unbeknownst to us as mom and dad. I mean, she kind of discovered this. I'm going on the world race, and so wow.
I was like, okay, great.
Yeah, and you were one of the few that raised your whole 18,000 pretty quickly.
I mean, when I'm the daughter of someone who's in nonprofit fundraising, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I did. I was very diligent with and people had seen me for the past 10 years.
True.
Had seen and
regular
givers of developing my heart for missions and stuff. And so
that's true.
But you're supposed to finish it by like halfway through the world race. And I finished it before even training camp,
which was really
unheard of.
It's
Yeah.
a miracle.
I'm not taking any credit for
that.
God
is good. He was like, yep, you're going. This is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that it timed well with us leaving Oregon.
Yes.
We threw all of our stuff in our truck, moving truck, towed your VW Bug, went down the coast. Jamilyn was with us because she was going to launch from Atlanta.
Right.
And that's where we were headed to go find a place to live. We had no idea where we were going to live, but we knew we had family here. And I literally remember getting that big moving truck into storage thing. We threw everything in there. And we literally went down to the Atlanta Airport Hilton because that was launch day for you.
Yeah.
Tell us what you were thinking and feeling then. I mean, you're driving cross country for 4 or 5 days with mom and dad. What's going through your heart?
I'm sorry. I want to go back again.
Sorry.
You've jumped too far forward.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to your own personal story, even and how you were struggling in your faith when you even decided to go on the world race. Mm-hmm. Can you share a little bit about that? Or do you want to? If you don't want to, that's
No,
fine.
no,
Okay.
it's fine.
You're gonna make her cry.
No, I'm not gonna cry. I don't know. There are different levels. I feel like when you grow up in a Christian household, your parents and your church and your community or whatever are the foundation of your faith.
Mm.
And when you guys moved to Oregon, and when I moved to Oregon away from the church and community that I had, it all felt like there was nothing under my feet.
Mm.
And having to even just go to major in these Christian studies things with struggling in my faith. But it was like the perfect place because like the professors there really allowed me to wrestle and struggle and ask the hard questions. And then reaching a point where I'm spiraling into a suicidal depression. And I almost feel like knowing that I needed to get out and go experience the world, like the depression was was one of the reasons that I sought out something like that. Like, where can I get out of this like mundane box that I'm in, and go to a place where, you know, I can continue to wrestle. What's crazy is that training camp, like fundraising, seeing the fundraising coming in that quick, getting like $5,000 anonymous donations and stuff like that. I got baptized at training camp, just as a renewal of my faith, and felt like I ended up going on the trip healed and free. So it was cool that like I kind of feel like I used the world race as an escape, which I feel like is an actually good thing for a lot of young adults to do. Oh, you're just running away, or oh, you're just trying to escape your problems. Like, that's okay. It's like, it's a trip. It's not like, you know, I'm coming back.
It's not permanent.
It's not permanent. It's a great, great experience for all young adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now to your question.
I don't remember what it
You
was.
were talking about driving down the freeway. What was going through your mind when you
We're
were
driving from the West Coast to Georgia. And
I know a lot of people ask me like, okay, wait, you're from Southern California. Like, how'd you get here? And I'm like, I followed my parents to Oregon because of free tuition. And then I decided to travel for 2 years. And while I was traveling, my parents decided to move to Georgia. And they were like, where do you want your stuff? Like, do you want us to leave your stuff in Oregon? I was like, no. Do you want us to drop it off in California? I was like, no. Do you want us to take it to Georgia? I was like, sure. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's more to that.
There's more to
story
that later.
than-
yes.
definitely.
Of why I chose to stay here.
Yes. Yes. So tell us about launching and what you were thinking and feeling and all that.
It's an exciting adventure. I feel like I should turn the tables on and ask what you guys were thinking and feeling, because as a mom now, I can't imagine like even
Flory on the world race.
Yeah. I mean, people talking about releasing her into preschool, and I'm like, no. So no, for me, it was just an exciting adventure. It was cool. I didn't have to worry about fundraising while I was on it. And just excited to use the gifts that I've been given and practice my Spanish. And
you also wrote a really fun blog while you were gone that I loved watching and reading. That was fun. Does it still exist?
I've been trying to get access to it.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people lost theirs, and mine's, I think, lost. I'm trying to.
I think, speaking as dad, when you asked us what we were going through, I think because we had a family culture, along with our church culture, that going off the continent of North America, it seemed normal.
Yeah.
You know, there were new things to learn, and were there hassles? Yeah, probably. I mean, mostly for us, it was going on the Mexico trips and things. But then watching your kids come back and just being deeper in love with God and their faith and their community, we're like, okay. To us, it was like, you know, right? I mean, what do you have to add?
No, I mean, I never really struggled with saying goodbye. My struggle was,
Go.
I'm going to miss you. But I was never in a space where I didn't trust the Lord with you.
Right.
Mhm.
And so,
And there are bad things going on in the world even
Yeah.
back then. There always will be. Like Seth mentioned last week,
yeah,
there will always be that stuff going on. But your adult child, they want to fly.
yeah.
And Jamilyn didn't need any help. We did not shoot her out of the nest. She went.
She ran, like she said.
And I remember giving her away in that grassy spot right over there. You can't see it. And I told Taylor this girl has been to 5 continents and 28 countries at the time, and went on to list all that. But it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So tell us about just being out on your own yourself, by yourself. Well, you really weren't by yourself, but
Yeah, but there's still so many.
you still don't have your family to come home to
Yeah.
bounce things
I have
off
a new
of.
family.
Yeah, you're with 30 people and you're trying to get along, and
You mean,
there's
wait,
a lot
time out.
to
You
it.
guys didn't all get along for 11 months? What did that look like, Jamers?
Ooh, that
We're
could
talking
be.
Christian adult people all
Don't
having-
worry, they don't
having-
listen.
having a cruise, right? It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, we learned a lot about feedback. And when I tell my story of how, like, I know and love Jesus, I say I met God at 5. I met Jesus at 15, and I met the Holy Spirit at 23. Because the church that I was raised in didn't like hone in on the voice of the Holy Spirit or anything like that. And so experiencing it for the first time and watching healing and watching prophecy and hearing his voice and listening prayer and all these different things just really blew open my walk with God. And it was a huge, huge growth experience, just every single month. Something that was either so amazing to watch, or something that was also just like so hard to deal with, and like choosing to stay in it, and choosing the team and choosing communication and just choosing in instead of like, there was just so many different, I feel like my character was tested and shaped, and my faith grew immensely. I don't think I would be who I am today in my walk with God without the world race. And a lot of that has to do with getting away from my family.
Yep.
Love you guys.
That's a good thing. That's what we're trying to champion here. It's like, get your adult kids, let them launch away from you.
Yeah. And like, it felt like I was putting some bigger foundation under my feet, just for who I am, and like loving who I am and identity and like all this different stuff, because, growing up in a bubble, I don't know, my identity could have been, the dancer or the girl with 3 brothers or the good Christian girl and all these different things.
Yeah.
And then pulling myself out of that and putting myself in hard situations.
Away from the scrolling and the text messaging.
Yeah. Allowed me to like really figure out who I am.
And you took it a step further. There's a story. I think you guys had a 24 or 36 hour layover before you went to the DR or something, and you came through Chicago, and we came to meet you.
Oh, yeah.
You looked a lot different.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm talking
I was
about?
like, I don't know what you're referring to.
As we're talking about identity, tell us that story.
I went on the mission field with 2 goals. One of them was to figure out like where God's calling and path for me was in missions. And the other one was to do something different with my hair every month. And so like first month I dyed it red, and then the second month I chopped it off, and then the third month I'm dyeing it purple, and I was going to do like a cool fade and and maybe eventually do a pixie cut or braid it. I don't know what. But realizing quickly within like, I think the third month, that I had always put a lot of identity in my hair. I grew up with the long blonde hair down to the hip. And it was like an attention seeking thing. And so as God's working in me month by month by month, he was actually pulling me into missions in the entertainment industry. And I was thinking I'd go out on the mission field, and the Lord's saying, actually, like, hey, you can go out on the mission field and find an unreached people group, and maybe 100 people come to know me, and I'll partner with you, and it'll honor me, and that'll be great. Or you can use all the ways that I have gifted you in entertainment and encouragement and performance and producing and directing, that you could go to influence influencers in the entertainment industry that could influence millions, and millions come to know my name. And I went, and so there was this huge shift from missions in the global sense,
the traditional
Christian sense, and moving into missions in the entertainment industry and Hollywood. And so those mixed together of dealing with my hair and stuff, I was like, I don't want to do that, because that's self-centered. That's, I want a spotlight on me. I want attention. I want all those different things. And he said, would you shave your head for me? And this is what you get when you learn how to hear the voice of the Lord. And so that was like a hard yes. So I shaved my head, said bye to all of that kind of like weight. I felt actually very free. And so that was my yes to missions in entertainment.
So when we saw her in Chicago, she had
not bald.
Yeah, but
buzzed.
A pretty buzzed head. Yeah.
She was so full of her middle name is Joy. I mean, when we were given her name and stuff like that, we wanted her middle name to be Joy. And I was just talking with Mama and Florence earlier today, and I said, who in here brings whose name is Joy? And she points at Mama and things, because I think my experience of you, Jamilyn, when we went to Chicago, this young woman of ours was off the charts, full of joy. The hair did not matter at all. Yeah. That's not who she was.
Right. Yeah. And it took some getting used to, for sure. As Mama, who loved her hair, because I can't grow long hair, I'm like, I love Jamilyn's hair. I was very jealous of it. So in any case, so tell us, for the parents out there, who we're kind of trying to not necessarily sell the world race, but we're trying to sell you on the idea of letting go of your kids and letting them experience things, letting them do hard things,
letting them buzz their hair.
Yeah, whatever that is. Tell us the life lessons that you learned that you are still applying today.
Oh my goodness, that's such a loaded question. Life lessons. Hey buddy. That I picked up on the race.
Wait till the 16th. That's my day.
That I still use today. I think a lot of it has to do with identity. Because I think I built my identity over the course of things, growing up. And shedding that on the race and hearing the Lord's voice of who I am. A lot of that, and then doing the leadership school afterwards in Spain was that I'm a leader. And that looks different than I thought right now, because we're slowing down. We're building our family. And so I'm leading a little 2-year-old, and I'm going to lead this little guy soon. And so also trusting in God's timing, because he has called me to big things. And I think a lot of what I took is doing it with God, because there's a ton of my tendency is always to strive and to bulldoze and run ahead and just get excited and not look at directions and just
Why are you looking at me like that? Okay, if you're on YouTube, did you just see the look from mom as she's hearing that from her daughter?
I know.
And looking at her husband.
I know that I am my father's daughter in that way. And so one of the hard disciplines is slowing down and doing it with the Lord. And I'd say the biggest thing is hearing his voice, I'd say.
I love that.
Hearing his voice.
And, I'm going to say this on those notes. For me, you can speak for yourself. Mm-hmm. And I've said this over and over. I don't know if I've said this on this podcast. I've said it on my podcast. But in seminary, I think this is the fault. And again, my lens. So if you also have gone to seminary and you had a different experience, please don't, turn us off.
Don't be offended.
Don't be offended. My lens is we don't talk about the Holy Spirit much in church, and they don't teach listening, prayer, and identity much in seminaries. It's all good stuff. You get history and apologetics and Greek and Hebrew, and we need all that, right?
Yes.
But we don't take all the rest of this in. And when this all was starting with you, and then Jackson came along and he kind of followed in similar footsteps and things. Me, and I think you did too, took a step back and went, wait a minute, our adult kids were leading and teaching us
absolutely
about what you're just hearing from Jamilyn, the Holy Spirit and listening prayer. And as you heard Seth Barnes talk about last week in listening prayer, that came from his father. So look at the generational flow that this has happened, because you normally think, it goes from grandparents to us to it's like, no. You can learn from your adult kids.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did. So much so that when they came back, somebody had a great idea to start a home church.
Yeah.
And we enveloped that. But there's some more to the story.
Well, and if I could say, when you guys came out to Thailand,
the parent vision trip, we got invited.
Yes. They allow the parents to come visit for like a week in the middle of the race. I think it was like month 7 or 8.
Yeah, we're in Chiang Mai.
Right, yeah. And I don't know if they had you guys write letters to us or that's just something you guys did. I still have the letters that you wrote. And
I think they had us do it.
Okay, yeah. It was just like an exercise or something. But that was actually like invaluable to me because you guys had that humble spirit. I just remember I don't know which letter it was, but it was like, we pointed you to Jesus, but you ran after him faster than we were going. And so we're trying to keep up with you now. And that is something that those words, like, I have treasured for years and like grew my confidence and I think our relationship and all those different things and I have a different experience because you guys are just like, yeah, go. And I'm sure there's lots of other parents that I might be this when I become a parent of an adult child, of being like, oh, do we, like, I don't know, holding on a little bit tighter and stuff. So.
And right now, you that's the role of a mom.
I'm supposed to be holding on tight.
We didn't tell you to do this, but Flory got her foot caught in the foot massager this morning and hurt her toe.
Oh.
So that was hard.
Yeah.
But those things happen. But no, that makes sense because every little thing you want to do that stuff. So yeah. So you come back from the world race. You weren't done.
I thought I was.
I mean, as far as
I was like every month since Jamaica.
And we were in Georgia.
Yeah.
You made a pit stop to your bedroom here.
Yes.
For just 3 months.
Well, I had you take all my stuff here. I every month of the race after shaving my head in Jamaica was God confirming more and more about acting in Hollywood and directing and just the creative aspect of me and leadership, encouragement, all this different stuff and how he made me. And so I was like, great, Atlanta is like the perfect hub to start a career like that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do that. Acting in Atlanta. Here we go. And then they have a little conference to kind of like help you acclimate back to the States. And that's where they introduced this program called G42. And I was like, no, not doing that. I'm doing acting in Atlanta. You've confirmed that for me 18,000 times on the race. That's what I'm doing. But then just felt this tug towards that. Leadership Academy, people giving me words that I should be going. And I was like, this is no. And then ended up like I said, I'll go to the workshop. That's about it. And I'll ask questions knowing that they're all going to be no, so that we can just shut this door and I can go do my thing. And I asked the question of like, hey, like I have to do like a practicum that you would want, right? Like I can't make my own, because that was the idea. I was like, okay, maybe if I could like do acting for my practicum or something like that. And then there was this man, Taylor Upchurch, who was sit right behind me and was like, oh, actually, like I'm in the program right now and I created my own practicum and I'm acting in Atlanta. And I was like, dang it. And I talked to him later. It just kind of, that conversation just confirmed that I needed to go, and I felt like my plans were wrecked. And I applied and they said yes immediately. And I moved like 6 weeks later, had to raise all the money again.
Which came through again.
Yep. And then Taylor's now my husband. Spoiler alert. That's how I met my husband.
Yes.
And now we're both doing the missions in acting and entertainment here in Atlanta.
Woohoo! So many things.
Yes. But like G42 was like another level, deeper level, continuing to go more and more into what I'm called to do, who I am, all that kind of stuff.
So are we getting close?
Yes.
Do you have more questions on it before I?
No, because go ahead.
But I was just going to say, Jamers, that's my, I have her on my phone as Jama, but she's got so many. In fact, a funny story, we go to the parent vision trip, mind you. We're in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And we're talking about being the parents of Jamilyn. And all the other squad members are just looking at us kind of funny, like,
who's Jamilyn?
Who are you talking about? And I think finally someone was putting two and two together. They go, oh, do you mean JJ? We know who JJ is. And we're like going, oh my gosh. It's like, we didn't know. So all that to say is Jamilyn has quite a few different nicknames.
And that was like a me getting out of my bubble as I introduced myself as JJ to everybody. So it was like this new, different. Yeah, it was like this new thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So you hear us say Jamers. I call her, my affectionate name for her is Jama. But where was I going? I was going with this is, okay, parents of adult children, 18 to 35. Yeah. You're listening to this podcast. You're hearing what we did in our family growing up. And like, going, okay, well, we haven't done that and things. Speak to that audience about not necessarily the world race, but what it meant to you to be able to freely go out and experience, quote unquote, the world and quote unquote figure it out. And if that hadn't happened, where would we be? I mean, speak to our audience and talk about that from your perspective. You don't need to pat us on the back or anything, but just what it meant to you.
I think it's a necessary thing that I think all young adults need to go through. I mean, I definitely learned and failed a ton while I was out and about, whether it was at Bible college or living at home with Campbell for community college or, so many different things. It's important to get away. And your adult child will not become your answered prayer if you are holding on to them. Because the way that God has them to be shaped is not under your wing. They have to go experience the hardship of the world, but also just the goodness of the world. I think all three of us have laughed at the fact that we've spoken things into family members' lives for years, but then they just don't hear it. And it's just like hitting a blank wall and falling flat. And then one person that's like outside the family becomes their mentor and speaks into them, and they get it within the first second. And you're like, I've been saying this over you for 14 years, but the random guy in the corner told you, cool. those things need to happen. They need to hear it from someone else.
Yes, exactly. It kind of just makes it go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been called joy my entire life, but I don't think I really truly understood it until getting away and knowing that joy is not just this like happy, bubbly thing. And yeah, I think I was able to become my own person. And yeah, I mean, I think that sentence of like, they're not going to become your answered prayer if you're holding on to them.
Yeah. Anything you hold on too tightly is more about you than about what you're holding on to.
Yeah. And with your release, it allows space for God to speak into them. Because God is more into the job of him being more experienced and poured out into the world, not more of you being.
Amen.
So if you're holding on and controlling and telling them and guiding them and doing all of that, you will get more of you and your shadow self and your mistakes and, all of that. With you releasing, it allows God into that space, God to enter and overflow them, pour out to all those people.
Amen.
Well said.
How do we get such a wise daughter?
It wasn't us.
It's Jesus.
We got out of the way.
Because you let go.
We worked at the parent eclipse so that she could see Jesus fully.
So my one last question
Okay.
Is, did this enhance our relationship with you or did it hurt? I think the answer is obvious, but
I think it definitely enhanced it for sure. Because I saw your guys' faith and trust and admiration in me and being just an adult human, an professional adult, not just on paper. Yeah.
good. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Awesome.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a joy to have you on the Parent Pivot podcast. And it's the second time you've been on. In fact, I will say this to our listening audience. If you haven't already, our top 3 podcasts are obviously our interview with Jim Burns. Mm-hmm. That was kind of the nucleus of us, doing life with your adult children.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut and welcome in out.
Right.
So that's like number 1. Number 2 and number 3 podcasts all time are, one is the interview with Jamilyn that we did earlier, and we'll put a link to that in our show notes.
This is actually the 3rd time she's been on.
I think
that's right. She interviewed me.
I think this is like my 5th time.
Okay.
We're going to have to go back and count.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
One time you were
available.
Yeah, one time she was gone. I did it. One time I interviewed you 2.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, where I was going was that the top 3 podcast is an interview we did, our first interview with Jamilyn, I believe it was, where she told her story and how rough college was and working at Chick-fil-A and Ellen DeGeneres and Jimmy Fallon and all that stuff. So I'm going to put a link to that podcast down below so you can see the difference between that interview and where she's at now, coming into her early 30s. She has a birthday coming up here next week. Her husband's is the day after, and this little guy may end up being
he's supposed to be due on Sunday, and my birthday's Monday.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll see what happens.
So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll put a link to that in the show notes and things. And as our social media director, she would tell you, please like our podcast. Please comment on it.
Follow them.
Share it. Follow it on your social media. Where are we all located on social media? All over the place?
Yeah.
Just look up Parent Pivot Podcast.
Instagram and Facebook is kind of where we're at.
Yeah. And but anyway, the whole point here was just to bring alongside our audience and saying, hey, we had Seth Lawrence on last week.
Yeah.
Here's what this meant in our family. We want to let you talk to Jamilyn and interview her. And we're glad you listened for this long, for this family and things like that. And so we will be back next Tuesday with some new content. So be sure to join us for another edition of the Parent Pivot Podcast.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.